So I finished the third round of bags for the Daily Bugle, and I'm very excited because this is like the first round of minifigures that I loved. We'll start with Carnage. Now, they've made some Carnage minifigures before, so this is not an original character, but I don't have one. So I was really excited to get Carnage in this particular set. But I'm going to move down his claws here so you can kind of just see that printing on the body and the head. So amazing printing. And then we've kind of seen these backpacks so you can kind of attach the tentacle pieces because, like the symbiote costume just comes apart and lashes out and grabs people, and it is a being in itself. And what I do love is Cletus Cassidy here. He's a much more violent than Eddie Brock's Venom, and so they've got like daggers and spikes that stick out of his hands. So you've got that tooth piece here and the tooth piece here, the horn pieces, just to kind of show him like being more lethal. And what they do is they use those 1x1 round plates with the handle. Now, I wish it was in red instead of a black, but, it still looks really good, so I'm not going to complain too much. But this is the Carnage, which I just absolutely love. But then I was really excited about the Punisher because, as I mentioned earlier, Punisher is one of those characters he's kind of like Deadpool. He's super violent. So I wouldn't be shocked if we never get the Punisher in another Lego set because of his violence and his use of guns, real weapons, which Lego's kind of against. Now we might, and I hope we do, but I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see this character again. But they did an amazing job with him. You've got that skull on the chest. You've got his ammo belt because, he's blowing everything up with his guns, so he needs lots of ammunition. And the guns themselves are really cool because, of course, you have to give him some powerful weapons because he doesn't have any superpowers. And now, most of the minifigures have had two faces with, the scared face and either the happy or the neutral face. But the Punisher's face I absolutely love because here you go. He's got a Band-Aid over his eye here because, he's always getting roughed up. And again, he's not a superhero. He has no superpower. So he's always getting hurt. And then on the back, you just kind of got this silly little grin, and I love that because the Punisher doesn't need a toothy smile, but you got that little crooked grin like, oh yeah, I'm gonna mess you up. So I love this minifigure. Very excited to get him. I'm glad we got to build him so early, so I'll put that minifigure hair piece back on. And then for the Daily Bugle itself, we pretty much just built the sides of the building. So we kind of closed off the Daily Bugle's main entrance lobby. Now, we've got the entrance here. You can kind of see the archway and the overhang. And this is a sliding glass door. So what you do is just kind of slide it open and close, like beep, beep. Little, probably automatic sliding door. But that doesn't really matter because when you turn it on this side, you're going to notice that our villains have just blown a hole in the side. So not only does this kind of add that dynamic look of the building where there's action happening all around, but it also allows us to get a really cool look inside the building. And then I'm going to keep turning around. Here we see the back, and the back was continued during the second bag, so I won't spend much time there. But when we go on the other side of the building, we've got this window work and a solid side, which will be the, I believe the fire escape will be on this side of the building. Now, I remember when I was doing the bagging, we just came into all these window pieces, and I was really worried that part of the build would be kind of tedious. But to be honest, it's not really tedious at all. It goes pretty quickly. These are kind of bigger pieces, so it's not like you're having to go like, plates or even one brick layer. You get like 2 or 3 brick heights just out of one window. So it's not a tedious build at all, and it goes very quickly. And in fact, the thing that's a little bit more tedious for this build are these side pillars with the studs sticking out, because you've got to do that. There are these 1x2 bricks that are tall, but you're kind of constantly rotating them. So you've got out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. So you got to kind of keep track of which one's facing left, which one's facing forward as you rotate and how far you go. So that's actually the more tedious part, not these windows. But overall, I'm really loving it. The third set just kind of gives us more structure. And I'm going to give you kind of a top-down view real quick. And here we're looking down into the lobby of the Daily Bugle. I almost said Planet because Daily Bugle, Daily Planet, I don't know. It's not like Marvel and DC rip each other off constantly. But the Daily Bugle. And we can see we haven't quite finished off this top because it's going to be a modular where it's going to be able to be taken off. But here we've got just studs all the way around. So clearly we're not done with the lobby build yet. But I'm very excited about the fourth round of bags now that I finished the third round. Not a lot of extra pieces in the third round of bags, but the ones we get are really cool. So now the 1x1 round plate with hole in the stud, that's pretty common. And then we've got that kind of that gripping piece, the 1x1 round plate with the handle for minifigures to grip something. And in our case, this was Carnage and kind of with those dagger-like hand extensions. So we've got that in black. But then we get these kind of the extra pieces from Carnage where you've got this like vine piece in red, which you don't see this in red a lot, so I'm really cool to get that as an extra piece. And then you've got the horn piece here, this tooth piece in red again. Again, it's just not a very common color, so it's cool to get that in the red color as an extra piece. And then the minifigure binoculars. Now, I actually don't have this piece in black, so now I've got an extra binocular piece for some mock work, but this is the first time I've actually gotten it in black. Usually it's a light bluish gray or a dark bluish gray.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or check out some of our other videos. Until next time, let's keep building together.